So today is March 27th. Today is March 27th, 2025. And yesterday we were talking about impermanent, the characteristic of impermanence, and the contemplation of impermanence, anicca, anicca lakkhana, and aniccanupassana. All physical and mental phenomena, all five aggregates are anicca because they immediately disappear after having arisen. They are arising and passing away. Therefore, all physical and mental phenomena or five aggregates are called anicca. And we have to know that characteristic of arising and passing away through our own knowledge. So therefore, in the practice, sometimes we are very eager to know that characteristic of impermanence. So sometimes we try to look for that arising and passing away. We try to look for it. But the thing is, we should not do that. Yeah? What we have to do is we just keep on observing every arising object. Just keep on observing. Yeah? Just try to observe very closely, very precisely, and very continuously whatever occurring at that moment. So we will see that arising and passing away nature very soon. And to see that arising and passing away nature, first we have to see the very true natures, the unique characteristics of every mental and physical phenomena. Without seeing that unique characteristics, the individual nature of these physical and mental phenomena, we won't be able to see the impermanence, the characteristics of impermanence. And again, we have to see the conditionality, the cause and effect relation of those mental and physical phenomena. Every mental and physical phenomena occurring are not without the conditions. There is conditions. So we have to see them too, and then only we will be able to see the impermanence. And we come to know that, those mental and physical phenomena are impermanent. They are not permanent. And so sometimes when we keep on observing the objects, we didn't see that impermanence nature. Yeah, the characteristic of impermanence is not appear. It's not clear to us. We cannot see that. So why we can't see that impermanence, the characteristic of impermanence, that we always think that everything is permanent. The mental and physical phenomena now we are having at this very moment is from the long ago. It comes from since the childhood time. the same mental and physical phenomena. It continues till now. So they are same. They are same. That type of concept we are holding, that everything is permanent. So because we are holding the concept of permanent, the perception of permanent, and we think that it is just a one thing, one series, and therefore we cannot see the characteristics of impermanence. So in the text said that santatiya paticannata, because it is concealed by the continuity. It is concealed by the continuity. We are unable to see the arising and passing away. When we note rising and falling movement in the abdomen at the beginning, because our mindfulness and concentration is not very strong enough yet, we see just one rising and one falling. And that rising and falling also, we cannot follow it from the very beginning. We only come to notice that rising and falling after it rises, after it falls. Because our mindfulness and concentration is not strong yet. And also, we see just a one continuous movement of rising and falling. So that type of continuity, this rising and falling, this is just one example. So because it is concealed by this type of continuity, and we cannot observe, we cannot note, we cannot see the arising, the beginning, and the passing away end. And then the characteristic of impermanence is not obvious to us. If we can see, if we can break that continuity, then we come to see the impermanence, the characteristic of impermanence. We will be able to see the arising and passing away. So for that, we just need to focus on the object and keep on noting. And sometimes when our mindfulness and concentration becomes very strong, we come to see the very beginning of rising movement and also the end. It starts to rise, it begins to rise, it continues rising, and it comes to end. We come to see that. Same goes to falling movement. We see the falling movement from very beginning till the end, means the whole process of rising and falling now we can follow. Yeah? And sometimes when that mindfulness and concentration is becoming even stronger and stronger, though we are noting as a rising and a falling, but sometimes we see there are many stages in rising movement, many stages in falling movement, not just one single movement. There are many stages, many segments, sometimes just one segment, sometimes 2 or 3, 4. So we see many segments in one rising and one falling movements. When we note, when we observe pain, at the beginning we see just a one mass of pain, just one pain. And this pain is painful all the time, the same pain. But when our mindfulness and the concentration becomes good in noting that pain, it's not just one single pain. There are many other small pains inside that one big pain. So we can see it that way. Even the small movements, even the small pains we now see because we are very diligent in noting those objects occurring at that very moment. So we are able to break up the continuity of that phenomena. We are able to break up the continuity of that phenomena. Why we are able to break up that continuity? Because we are observing that phenomena continuously. We are observing that phenomena. We come to know the natures of phenomena. We come to see the cause and effect relation of the phenomena, and we are observing very continuously. Therefore, we are able to see the breakup of the continuity. Means every small movements we are now able to see. So that is we are able to see the characteristic of impermanence, and that is the aniccanupassana jnana, the knowledge of contemplation of impermanence. So in every object, whatever objects occurring in the six sense doors, they all are impermanent because they all are arising and passing away. So if we pay very much attention to those objects, we will be able to see that characteristic of impermanence, anicca lakkhana, in two ways. Yeah, at the beginning, we will be able to see the appearance, presence, and disappearance of that object. It appears, it stays for some time, and it disappears. Yeah, upada, titi, and bhanga. And again, when our mindfulness concentration becomes even stronger and stronger, sometimes we see arising and passing away. It arises and immediately disappears too. It doesn't last for a long time. It appears and disappears very quickly. So that way we come to see the characteristic of impermanence. And sometimes, just now we said, even very small things like particles, we will be able to see because we are paying very much attention. For example, there is the ants moving. Yeah, but when we see from a distance, we will think that, oh, there is a stick or maybe a piece of rope. But when we go closer, bit close to that thing, then we come to see there is some movements, but we still don't know that what is that. But we feel that there is something moving. But when we are very close to that object, then we see that every individual ants moving one after another. Before we think that it is just a one stick or rope, but when we are very close to it, we come to see that, oh, there are every individual ants moving one after another. So that way we will be able to see. That means our observation becomes very good because we can see even a very small, minute details of that object. And when we can see this characteristic of anicca, it means we are abandoning the concept of permanent, nitsa, the perception of permanent, because we see now everything is impermanent. Before we have a view that everything is permanent, the perception of permanent, but now when we see every arising and passing away, this characteristic of those mental and physical phenomena, that means we are abandoning the perception of permanent. Therefore, the Buddha said that when one practices when one contemplates impermanence, then one will abandon the perception of permanent. And at the meantime, we will be eradicating the conceit, asmi mana in Pali. That is the type of conceit that I am. I am the best. I am the best. I know. I did. That type of conceit is asmi mana. So I know everything. I can do everything. I am the best one. So that type of mana conceit. When we see the impermanence nature, that means we are eradicating that asmi mana too. So the Buddha said that to eradicate the conceit, I am, the perception of impermanence should be cultivated and developed. So that is also the benefit that we gain when we see the impermanence nature. Before we think that I can do everything, I am the best, but when we see that everything is impermanent, they appears and disappears very quickly in fast manner, appearing and disappearing, arising and passing away in fast manner, then there is nothing that we can hold on. There is nothing that we can say, I can control them, because everything is happening in their own accord. There is no controller. There is no self or soul that can control that arising and passing away nature. So when there is no self, no soul, no controller who can stop this arising and passing away nature, then there is nothing to be proud of. So in order to eradicate the conceit, I am, the asmi mana, I am the best, we have to cultivate and develop this perception of impermanence. Anicca sanya, the perception of impermanence. And then the other two characteristics, dukkha and anatta. So here again we have to know that dukkha. What is dukkha? And what is the characteristic of dukkha? And what is the contemplation of dukkha? We have to know that. The Buddha said that yada nitsang tan dukkhang. That means whatever is anicca, impermanent, they are dukkha. Dukkha, unsatisfactory. So whatever anicca, they are unsatisfactory. That means all physical and mental phenomena, all 5 kinds of aggregates are dukkha. So when we say dukkha, dukkha, what is dukkha is all 5 kinds of aggregates. They are dukkha. Why they are dukkha? Why these aggregates, why these mental and physical phenomena are dukkha, unsatisfactory? Because all these physical and mental phenomena, 5 aggregates, are oppressed by this fast arising and passing away, oppressed by this impermanence. Because everything disappears after having a reason. So there is no one single thing that lasts for a long time. They just appears and disappears, appears and disappears. So something, it is like torturing us. It's like torturing us. Therefore, we feel very oppressed. That is unsatisfactory. And in the practice, we have to see this characteristic of unsatisfactory also. The characteristic of unsatisfactory. So again here, the all 5 aggregates, all physical and mental phenomena, they are constantly appearing in 6 sense doors. They are dukkha, and they have a characteristic of dukkha, the characteristic of unsatisfactory, because they are oppressed by the constant arising and passing away, or the impermanence, oppressed by the impermanence arising and passing away. Therefore, they are dukkha. So we have to see that unsatisfactory while we observe those physical and mental phenomena. Yeah. So while we are observing those mental and physical phenomena, and we see that, we understand that, oh, everything is arising and passing away all the time. So it's something like torturing. It's very dangerous. It's fearful. It's fearful, and it's not good. It's very bad. So knowing that way is also the knowledge of contemplation of unsatisfactory. Dukkhanupassana jnana. And again here, the dukkha, the characteristic of unsatisfactory, it can be divided into 3 types. The first one is the dukkha dukkha, the characteristic of dukkha dukkha. That means in the practice, we feel in the body and mind, we feel sometimes very uncomfortable, discomfort, unpleasant feeling in the body and mind. And that feeling of the unpleasant feeling in the body and mind is a dukkha dukkha. Dukkha dukkha, the characteristic of dukkha dukkha. And there is another characteristic of dukkha is viparinama dukkha. Viparinama means sometimes we feel pleasant sensations. We feel pleasant in body and mind. But that pleasant feeling in body and mind does not last long. It disappears because it is also impermanent. The pleasant feeling in body and mind also changes very quickly. It disappears. So that is the characteristic of viparinama dukkha. And another characteristic of dukkha is sankhara dukkha lakkhana. That means all the sankhara dhammas, the conditioned dhammas, the conditioned phenomena are dukkha because they arise and pass away very quickly. So these conditioned dhammas are oppressed by this arising and passing away. Therefore, it is dukkha. So that is the characteristic of sankhara dukkha. So when we say we have to know the dukkha lakkhana, dukkha lakkhana veditapa, we should know the characteristic of unsatisfactoriness. That means we should know that every mental and physical phenomena we are having is oppressed by this impermanence nature arising and passing away. So then it is the dukkha lakkhana, the real dukkha lakkhana. But sometimes we are unable to see the characteristic of unsatisfactoriness. We cannot see the dukkha lakkhana. So why? In the text it is said that, for example, when we do sitting meditation, we feel pain. The pain occurs and we feel very painful. This pain occurs after sitting for some time, after remaining in one posture for a bit long time, we feel pain. So what we do when we feel pain, sometimes we immediately change the posture. We immediately change the posture. So this dukkha lakkhana, this type of dukkha lakkhana is concealed by changing the posture. That dukkha lakkhana is concealed by the changing the posture. We change immediately after we feel painful sensation. We don't observe them. Sometimes we change immediately because we don't like pain. So we want some comfort, therefore we change immediately. Then we cannot see what is dukkha, what is unsatisfactory. So when we cannot see even the roughest dukkha lakkhana because of changing the posture, how can we see that sankhara dukkha lakkhana, that every mental and physical phenomena are oppressed by this impermanence nature, therefore therefore it is unsatisfactory? How can we see? We even cannot see that the roughest dukkha lakkhana. Therefore dukkha lakkhana is not appeared because of changing the posture, and we are not paying attention, we are not observing the nature of that dukkha. We are not observing that how this dukkha is torturous because we change the posture very quickly. So that is the reason that we cannot see the dukkha lakkhana. So therefore, if we really want to see the characteristics of unsatisfactoriness, then we have to observe it. Keeping on observing whatever occurred at that very moment, we come to see the impermanent nature. Then also we come to feel that, oh, this mental and physical phenomena are all constantly oppressed by the continuous arising and passing away nature. when we see that way, then at that time, Dukkha Nupassana Jnana, we are having the knowledge of the contemplation of unsatisfactoriness. So what happens when we see or when we contemplate on unsatisfactoriness means we will be able to abandon the perception of sukha. If we are unable to see this dukkha, then we think that everything is sukha. There is no dukkha at all. Therefore, we say, at home, I don't feel any pain. Yeah? When I do meditation for 1 hour, but I don't feel pain at home. But when I came to the center, I feel pain, very painful. Some yogis said like that. At home, when do even 1 hour sitting, they don't feel pain. Why? What may be the reason for that? Why they don't feel pain? Because sometimes at home our concentration is not good. Though we are doing sitting meditation, but the mind is not inside the body. The mind is wandering somewhere. The mind is thinking something and maybe sometimes very tired and fall asleep. Therefore, we don't feel pain at that time. If we are very mindful, then somehow we start to feel some discomfort in the body. But when we come to the center, now we don't have anything to do. At home, we have many jobs to take care, many things we need to take care. But at the center, we don't have to take care of anything. We just have only one duty, to be mindful all the time. We have no other duties, just only one duty. We just keep on observing the every mental and physical phenomena occurring at that time. So when we fulfill our duty, our mind becomes calm, concentrated, and sometimes we start to feel pain. Yeah? But at home, we are not paying attention inside the body. Mind is busy on planning many things. So therefore, we think that when we stay at the home, there is no pain. There is no pain. There is comfort all the time. Yeah. But when we come to see the dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness, then our perception of sukha is abandoned. So therefore, if we want to abandon that perception of sukha, then we have to contemplate the unsatisfactoriness. We have to contemplate the unsatisfactoriness. And again, the another thing that we have to know is anatta. Anatta, no, not self. Yeah, anatta. What is anatta? The Buddha said that yang dukkhang tadanatta. So whatever unsatisfactory is not self. So here also, when we say anatta, anatta means all physical and mental phenomena, all 5 aggregates. They are anatta. And why they are called anatta? Because all physical and mental phenomena occurs in their own accord. There is no self, no entity that create, that control this mental and physical phenomena. Yeah, there is nobody who can control these mental and physical phenomena. All mental and physical phenomena are occurring in their own accord. So that is why these mental and physical phenomena are called anatta, not self. And in the practice also, when we keep on noting the objects, because now we see that everything is unsatisfactory, all mental and physical phenomena are constantly oppressed by the continuous arising and passing away. So, though we want to stop arising, though we want to stop the passing away, we can't. We can't stop the mental and physical phenomena from arising, and we can't stop these mental and physical phenomena from dissolving. So they arise and they pass away in their own accord. Nobody can control them. Therefore, they are called anatta. So what is unsatisfactory is not self. Means there is no control over these mental and physical phenomena. They are happening in their own accord. So like outside weather, we cannot control. It's raining, sometimes there is a sunny day. The weather changing constantly all the time. We cannot do anything. Yeah? Same way, the physical and mental phenomena occurring in our body, they are happening in their own accord. We cannot do anything to them. So, seeing that, characteristic of anatta, the characteristic of anatta, that is there is no self, there is no one that can control. So seeing that characteristic of anatta is the anattanupassana jnana, the knowledge of contemplation of anatta, not self. But sometimes this knowledge of contemplation of anatta does not appear. Does not appear because we are not paying attention. Because we are not paying attention to the various types, various elements occurring in our body and mind. The various elements means here the various mental and physical phenomena actually. We cannot see them. We think that, for example, when we see something, some visible form, we cannot see separately the eye base, the visible form, or the seeing consciousness, and also there is the intention to see. We cannot see those things. What we think that I am seeing. Yeah, I saw. The person who is seeing is I. I saw that. So there is a concept of I. The perception of I, the atta sanya. Yeah, I am seeing, I am hearing, I am doing. So everything, whatever see, hear, smell, taste, touch, think, everything I am doing. So we think that way. Why? Because we cannot differentiate the elements occurring at that time. For example, in the seeing process, first there is an intention to look. intention to see. Yeah, we want to see, we want to look. And when the seeing process occurs, what we can find that there is an I base that is the element of receiver. And in that I base, the visible forms strikes. Yeah, the visible form is the element of striker. And because the visible form strike on the I base, the seeing consciousness occurs. That seeing consciousness is the element of spark or ignition. So in seeing process, there are three elements: the I base, the visible form, and the seeing consciousness. And together with seeing consciousness, there is contact and also the feeling. So we cannot see these things, and therefore we think that I am seeing. I saw that. We think as a whole thing, and we think as I. That is the perception of self. So the characteristic of anatta does not appear because it is concealed by the what you call solidity as the one whole thing. But actually there is many elements occurring in one seeing process. Yeah, same goes to the rising and falling movement in the abdomen. The abdomen rises, and there is the mind that knows the rising movement. Sometimes we don't see, oh, my abdomen rising. And sometimes even we feel that I am making this abdomen rises. So we think that way. In sitting also, I am sitting. Actually in sitting there is an intention to sit. And there is not just one intention, many intentions. And not just one sitting, many sittings. Yeah, there are many series of intentions, and there are many series of the actual sitting. In walking also, there are many series of intention to walk, and also the actual process, the many series of actual process of walking occurring at that time. But we don't see those things, and we take them as just one thing, one solid thing. So because of that, we cannot see the characteristic of anatta. So if we want to see the characteristic of anatta, what we have to do is we have to see the various elements occurring at that moment. We have to see. Therefore, the characteristic of non-self is not does not appear because it is concealed by the solidity. But if we are able to expose, if we are able to break up that solidity, then we will be able to see the characteristic of anatta. That means we are now having the knowledge of the contemplation of anatta. So when we are able to see that anatta, then at that time we will be abandoning the perception of atta. The perception of atta is a wrong view. Wrong view. It's the view, the wrong view. So we are now abandoning the wrong view because we see the anatta, characteristic of anatta. Yeah? When we see the unsatisfactory, then we are abandoning the view of sukha, happiness. Because we are abandoning the view of sukha, happiness, that means we are abandoning the tanha attachment. So when we see the anicca, the characteristic of impermanence, we are abandoning mana, the asmi mana, the conceit. When we see dukkha, the characteristic of unsatisfactoriness, then we are abandoning sukha. That means we are also abandoning the attachment, tanha. And when we see the anatta, characteristic of anatta, at that time we are abandoning the concept of atta, that is the wrong view. So mana, conceit, tanha, attachment, and this wrong view, ditthi, wrong view. These three dhammas are called papancha. Papancha means that makes our that prolongs our existences. Yeah, mana, conceit, and tanha, attachment, and ditthi, wrong view. These three are unwholesome mental states, the unwholesome mental factors, and these three are called papancha. Why they are called papancha? Because they prolong our existences. Now, by having the knowledge of anicca, aniccanupassana, dukkhanupassana, and anattanupassana, the contemplation of impermanence, contemplation of unsatisfactoriness, and contemplation of not self. By having that knowledge, we are momentarily abandoning those papancha dhammas, those unwholesome mental states that can prolong our existences. So in the practice, we should try our best to see these three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, so that a genuine vipassana knowledge will begin. The genuine vipassana knowledge will begin, and we have to develop it until it becomes matured, and then we attain the path and fruition knowledge. So may you all be able to practice that way. That's all for today.